So welcome back to my live stream. And today we're going to continue the topic on whether Kaylee had a stalker or not. So before I begin, BK is innocent until proven guilty. Everything I'm about to say is speculation. It is guessing, hypothesis, generalizations, and assumptions. So creators are saying that we're being manipulated with leaked info. To begin, it's not what people are saying, it's what they're not saying. So I'm presenting a hypothesis because it fits the PCA. To begin, this theory could fit either way, with Kaylee as the target or with Maddie as the target. Because after all, they were both there that night. Give me 1 second. I just have to take my dogs out of the room because they are making noise. Okay, sorry. So to leave off on, I'm just going to repeat that sentence. Okay, so I'm going to start from that paragraph before. Creators are saying that we're being manipulated with leaked info. To begin with, it's not what people are saying, it's what they're not saying. So I'm presenting this hypothesis because it fits the PCA. This theory could fit either way, with Kaylee being the target or Maddie, because after all, they were both there that night. So as Drip Drop said, the house could have been the target. So let's begin at the beginning of this hypothesis, which I have built with a couple other people. And the story begins in Pullman, Washington. So BK moved to Pullman, Washington, and he got a job at WSU. Now, this is a total assumption, but I'm assuming that BK went to his normality of going to pubs after work and school. So over a year ago, the large true crime creator Annie Elise reported very early on that BK frequented many local pubs after he got out of study/school at DeSales University when he was back in Pennsylvania. Now, JRL, according to JRL, BK is just a 3-minute drive from a very popular pub called the Coug. Sources say he likely frequented this pub. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm just going to play you a little clip from when I explain Annie Elise and her theory on motive so that we're on the same page.
Your comments below. So with that, let's just kind of change gears and let's start talking about motive. So regarding motive, several creators, including Harsh Reality, recommended that people watch Annie Elise 10 to Life channel and the video titled Idaho Murders, Bryan Kohberger Back in Idaho, New Details, the Arrest Warrant, and Horrifying Updates. So I did. So anger and rejection was the theme that Annie Elise alluded to In this video, she takes us back to BK's time at DeSales University. And thus far in the public eye, we've seen a cool, calm, and collective BK. But during this time, when he frequented this off-campus bar, there was a different side of BK on display. According to Annie Elise's source, BK was an intimidating patron. He allegedly would hit on women and get very loud and angry when they rejected him, so much so that he was in their computer system. Now, look, I'm not a drinking woman, but back in the day, I remember most of the bars I frequented had a drunk regular kind of like that. And if you have a computer system, that drunk would be in it. So was it that? Was it something else? I don't know. Please comment below. While we're on the subject of motive, during the same time at DeSales University, BK was studying under Dr. Kathleen Ramsland. Dr. Ramsland is a criminal mind expert on BTK. She's interviewed and wrote books on him. And BK was her best student she ever had. So now check this out. BTK was 28 when he committed his first unaliving. BK is the same age, allegedly, with his first unaliving. BTK unalived 4 people in his first crime. BK allegedly unalived 4 people in his first alleged crime. And lastly, the motive of BTK, amongst other things, was thought to be rejection and anger towards his mother, which he couldn't leash out on her. So while we're on the subject of...
Okay, so I'm going to just stop there. And we're just tying all of this together. So sorry about that. Forgot to turn my ringer off. So apparently Kaylee and her friends also like to frequent the Coug. And this is a picture of Kaylee on her 21st birthday celebrating at this bar. And according to JRL, Kaylee posted many Instagram pictures at the Coug as well. Okay. Now let me show you something else. So right here, I have a copy of a breakdown of the search warrant, and I'm just going to read you some of these things. So there's a total of 24 different items that are broken down. I'm going to read these to you. More importantly, I'm going to actually skip down. It basically is all the social media and different things from UPS to the forensic lab. But if you go down to number 5, you've got the Tinder accounts for information relating to Kaylee from the 1st of January of 2021, 20 profiles linked to her account from 11/3/2022. All right. So if I go down to this first comment here, one of the things that the first people first note is lots of focus on Kaylee here. 20 plus accounts connected to Tinder, her liked matches. So in comparison, what a creator, I'm going to show you a creator who's going to point out is the difference in the amount of social media activity that was actually warranted. So when it comes to Xana and Ethan, they had roughly 30 some odd warrants pertaining to their social media. And then when it came to Maddie, she had around 20. But when it came to Kaylee, she had over 40. Okay, let me just show you something real quick you're going to be very interested in. Just bear with me. I've almost got it. All right, so I'm now going to show you a channel called It's a Crime Shame. And she's just talking about this search warrant. And the reason why we break it down is because this search warrant had like over 700 pages.
Ethan. So what about that guy that kept insisting that Bryan Kohberger, you guys bought his knife from him for $350? What about him? Okay. Ethan. Meta platforms. So, so we're coming to the end of that. So, when we look at this, to be honest with you, Kaylee by far, I shouldn't say by far, but Kaylee definitely has the most things requested. So I've always felt that it was Kaylee. There was part of me that could never decide if it was Kaylee or Madison, usually going to Kaylee. But I'm going to say that I'm going to definitely say that Kaylee was probably, she probably went on that Tinder date with that guy that treated her disrespectfully or whatever was said about that. I'd have to go back and remember what was said there. But yeah, so other than that, you guys, in this whole thing, it's about all these requests from Amazon, Walmart, Blue Ridge Knives, banking records. So obviously, if they can match up purchases to a banking transaction to a K bar and stuff like that, then obviously, like, they're just trying to tie Bryan Kohberger in every which way, shape that they can for their evidence. Anyways, that's how I see it, guys. I'm just putting this video out there for you guys just to kind of show you. I will put the link of this these records, this Acrobat, and you guys can go look at it yourself. It will be in the description of this video.
All right, I'm going to stop there. I don't think she actually played what I was looking to show you guys, but essentially, let me put Kaylee's picture back up here so you're not staring at my dog. So the reason I wanted to play It's a Crime Shame is another thing that came up is they asked for nearly 20 different profiles pertaining to Tinder. Now, what's not on the internet anymore is back in the day when this case first came out, it was said that Kaylee went on a Tinder date and it was so bad that she knew she wasn't going to go on a second date with them. The person allegedly called her a bitch and was calling women bitches and whores. And according to what we just heard from Annie Elise, that could be something that sounds awfully familiar. Now, when Kaylee came back into town, so even though Kaylee was technically moved out of the house, she hadn't been out of town, and she'd been out of town for some days. She posted that she was with friends at her old apartment on Insta. And this is the photo, and there was a lot more of them. All right, now let me tie this together with just a couple more clips, and I think this will start making a little more sense to you guys. Okay, guys, here it comes. Pause. So I have a lot to say about.
Why her LinkedIn? It just doesn't make sense. What do you think?
All right. So I have a lot to say about this. I've been digging, and it's whether or not Kaylee has a stalker. And again, back to the Brat Nortons, you really have to listen precisely to exact words people are saying.
It was Maddie who actually said that. So Maddie said it, and it was kind of like more mentioning, like motioning to Kaylee too, like who was right next to her. So you could tell that like they obviously all were trying to keep Kaylee safe. They just said, yeah, you know, one of our friends and motioning to Kaylee that she'd been stalked recently. And it's not just a one-off thing, that this is apparently something that Kaylee had tons of issues with. Apparently she always had somebody who's constantly walking behind her like that. So, and it was more so at nighttime when they were out there drinking and stuff like that. Because I asked him, like, is it at school? And she's like, no, when I'm at night, going out to the bars or coming back from the bars. And again, living down that way.
Did she specifically mention the corner club?
Not the corner club, but just in that general direction and stuff like that. So the only reason I would assume the corner club is because that's the only bar that's down in that area anymore now. So.
Looked like it was a perfect place to park a car. Dark, no ring cameras anywhere. Nobody would notice anything if a car was parked up there for a killer to go down and do what he needed to do.
Got a couple more things to show you. So okay, so I have this photo back up. Now, this is a photo of Maddie and Kaylee at the corner club, and it is taken on the app Be Real. So if you don't know what this app is, it's really popular. Basically, you get a random message with another person within your group, and you have to take a photo within a few seconds. You can either take it for the front or the back of your camera, but you have to show where you are. And somebody else took this picture of Maddie and Kaylee. And as you can see, this is them at the corner club and the boys on the other end of the app. Now I have another theory, which you'll find only on this channel. Oops, where is my photograph? Hold on. I guess I didn't upload it. Hold on, let me just upload it real quick. All right, so this is a theory you'll only hear at this channel. So this photograph was taken, as I said, a couple of hours before the crime. Well, guess what? Everyone thought they saw Kaylee taking a selfie at the grub truck. I think this is her on the Be Real app. I think that whoever it is knew exactly her location. Look at this. The vape shop owner was talking about the corner club. The photo was taken at the corner club towards the end of the night. It's a social media app called Be Real. Let's see, what else did I write here? Okay, now we got Kaylee again, allegedly taking a Be Real photo, sharing her location, allegedly at the grub truck. All right. So I just have 2 more sound bites to show you, and then I'm going to ask you 5 questions that are just really lingering. So let me pull up the next soundbite for you.
"46 days since the brutal murders and still no suspect. One of the victims' family members shares with me a new clue. Kaylee Gonzalez's sister Olivia shares with me something she found disturbing on the day of the murders. Here's a screenshot of Kaylee's LinkedIn account. Notice how Kaylee's account was active at 11:33 p.m. on November 13th. This was 12 hours after the 911 call was made, and her account was deactivated.
The content is unwanted or harmful. But I mean, obviously, I didn't report it.
Olivia also shows me an email where she messaged Moscow PD and asked them why they deleted Kaylee's LinkedIn. They replied and said it was illegal for them to do that, and it was not them. So the big question is, who was logged into Kaylee's LinkedIn, and why was it deleted? Kaylee had other social media accounts. Why her LinkedIn? It just doesn't make sense. What do you think?
Was recently posted. This soundbite comes from a TikTok personality who has about 100,000 followers, millions and millions of views. She doesn't typically post, or she doesn't post at all about the Idaho 4. She's typically music and politics, but that's what makes this clip particularly interesting. It went viral. She was told to take it down. Let's just hear in her own words.
That the posts that were speculated, that they were speculating that Bryan had potentially posted on 4chan Reddit, that in fact is confirmed that it was him doing that, like talking about the murders and stuff like that, and giving out information of how in fact the suspect, Bryan K., how he was in fact arrested, how that information got to police. Because so many tips were coming into the police, this one ended up being a pretty reliable source in that they gave information that nobody could possibly know except them. And I have never even made one video about the Idaho murders. I was pretty content in watching other people's TikToks, just getting like facts and speculation from other creators. So anyway, I really don't care who thought it was real or fake or not. It's just, I fell into the live. I thought it was important information for other people to know, and I released it. So yeah, crazy stuff. Took him down. That's fine. No problem. I'll take him down.
So that was a super interesting sound.
Okay, so I have a few questions lingering after hearing all of that, and I'm just going to pose them to you out here in the ether. Why doesn't anyone talk about Kaylee's bad date on Tinder anymore? Or how did she know there would be no second date? Did Xana and her roommate frequent bars? Was Xana's sister in Pullman, Washington? What happened to mentioning of BF being pulled over in Pullman, Washington? Did BF or her boyfriend know Brent K? Lastly, what happened to the guy who kept insisting that he sold his knife to BK for $350? So many questions lingering.